coverage and doing an excellent job getting us through those significant tornado warnings that we had throughout the afternoon. That said, our severe weather threat for this afternoon is not done just yet. So I did want to hop on, be able to give Owen a little bit of a break, and then carry you guys through the next hour or so while we still have very strong to dangerous storms here across the Buckeye State. I will try my best to monitor comments while I am streaming, and I will be also looking for some damage reports as well. Some areas that we're going to be getting continuing damage reports are portions of Claremont County near Amelia, where we do believe a tornado has touched down there about an hour and a half ago. I've gotten some reports out of Licking County. And we've been getting some reports out of Morgan, Noble, and Washington counties as well from storms that have moved through. But we are still actively tracking storms. So let's get right to it, some of the areas that we are still looking at some significant severe weather. Particularly Washington County right now, you do have a severe thunderstorm warning right now. This severe thunderstorm warning will expire at 4:45 p.m. And it is tagged tornado possible. So this is a part of the state that has had a history of producing tornado warned storms. So that's why the tornado possible tag still exists, and we're going to be watching this very, very closely. So if you're in Washington County, not only do we have the hazard of heavy rain and lightning and flash flooding, we do have a flash flood warning in effect. We also have some possible hail occurring in some of these purple areas on radar. We are currently getting our radar data out of Charleston, West Virginia, the National Weather Service radar there. So we do have a decent picture of what's going on here in Washington County. The entire stretch of I-77 from Noble County down to the state line at the river, really dealing with this damaging strong thunderstorm. Let's take a look at the velocity data or the wind data with this one. And I definitely see some broad rotation right here near Bonn and Wingate Run. Looks like State Route 26 there. Some broad rotation. So we're going to have to watch this very, very closely. If there's going to be any possible tornado damage or even any sort of wind damage, this is the area of Washington County that I'm concerned about at this time. And just to also point out, for those who may be watching in the MOV region in West Virginia, we do believe that a significant tornado may have occurred right along the Ohio River from near Sistersville, West Virginia. That storm is now heading well into West Virginia now. Into mainly rural areas, but we do know that there are some people that live there. So it is a serious situation, a possible tornado ongoing here in West Virginia. The Sistersville area is now clear, but that was a serious situation there. Back here in Washington County, I'm watching this area of rotation here. That will also likely cross the Ohio River within 10 to 20 minutes or so. But that's not the only area that we have of concern. If you were watching Owen's stream just a few minutes ago, he did mention that there were a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings that we didn't get a chance to cover because of the numerous tornado warnings in effect. So let's talk about some of those areas. We have a severe thunderstorm all the way back here in Perry County. We probably have some hail ongoing near Somerset. McConnellsville, it does appear that you are under the gun. This is a large cluster of thunderstorms. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings stretching all the way back from Perry County down into West Virginia. So New Lexington, McConnellsville, Waterford, Marietta, Caldwell, New Martinsville, all of those locations are under the gun for severe weather, with the strongest storms here in Marietta and Washington County, and a very concerning thunderstorm back here in West Virginia near Middleburn that had a history of producing what we believe is a large tornado. Elsewhere, we've been getting questions about elsewhere. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings, and I'm going to switch the radar back to Wilmington so we can get a better look on this. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings currently in effect for Adams County, right along the river. So those locations along the river, West Union, it's just south of you, but US 52 in Adams County, Vanceburg, Kentucky. And then this does stretch into Scioto County, and it does include Portsmouth. So this is a very strong thunderstorm. The main threat with this one is 60-mile-per-hour wind. That's going to expire here at 5 o'clock. And we might even have some hail occurring here. That hail is this purple region, and that would be moving into Scioto County and then eventually into Kentucky. So this is another area that we're concerned about. We do have a flash flood warning still ongoing, once again, for Hamilton County from the storms earlier in Cincinnati. Cincinnati has had several rounds of flooding so far in the last week, so this is not a good situation. Also, a flash flood warning in Claremont County in regions that were just impacted by a likely tornado near Amelia in the last hour and a half. So we're going to be looking at storm reports from there as well. We also have another storm here in Vinton County. This is not warned, not severe, but it is producing a lot of rain and lightning and could pose a flooding threat in Vinton County and northern Jackson County. So those are two locations. We also have some heavy rain near Logan and in the Hocking Hills region. Still an ongoing flash flood warning in Athens County and in Washington County. We have a lot of alerts in effect for Washington County right now. So I think that's going to be our main area of focus. We are getting some questions about other portions of our coverage area. I just want to let some folks know that if you are pretty much not in Southeast Ohio, you're in the clear. We are still probably going to see maybe a couple pop-up showers, maybe a rumble of thunder behind all this, but the main severe weather threat really is what is going on down here in portions of Washington and Morgan County, even southern Noble County as well. So we also have this main severe thunderstorm warning that, again, stretches from New Lexington all the way to the West Virginia state line, the Ohio River, is tagged tornado possible. So we could see some spin-ups within this region of storms that we're really concerned about at this time. And we also have an observed flash flood warning over here, northern Morgan County, Noble County, due to some very, very heavy rain that's occurred there in the last hour. So a lot going on here with the strongest storm in Washington County at this time. So let's switch back over to the Charles. Whoops, let me make sure we got the map going up straight the right way. There we go. Let's check back into Washington County. Well, let's actually pivot briefly. A severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for that Vinton and Jackson County storm. So I'm not surprised by this. I just mentioned this about a minute ago, that this storm near MacArthur was looking pretty strong, and the National Weather Service has gone ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning. So the hazards with this are penny-sized hail, winds up to 60 miles per hour. All right, so yes, we now have a severe thunderstorm warning for Vinton, Jackson, southern Athens, western Meigs, and northern Gallia County until it looks like it's going to run until about 5:25, 5:30. So that'll be with us for an hour, and we're going to be tracking that as it moves into West Virginia. So we'll stick with you until these storms are clear of our area, because they are very dangerous. And honestly, I'm a little concerned about this one up here near Nelsonville, showing a little hook on the radar. So I know we had some people watching our last stream that were concerned about Athens County. Now is the time to take shelter in Athens County. Let's see if we can get any velocity data on any of these storms. It does look like we have some broad rotation near MacArthur. Again, I'm not too concerned about an immediate tornado threat there, but there is some broad rotation there in Vinton County. Okay, well, the good news for Nelsonville is I don't see any rotation when we switch to velocity mode, so that is good news. However, if we go over here to Washington County, which I did want to cover a minute ago, but then we got interrupted by the new warning in Vinton County. I am concerned about a couple areas just near Marietta, and it does look like we could have some rotation extending into West Virginia now. So a lot of the danger from this storm is now going to be straddling the Ohio River here in Washington County. It looks like we do have some high wind potential along State Route 26. On my map is telling me that is Moss Run and Dart, Fay, Cow Run. I know these are a lot of like crossroad junctions, but if you're familiar with these hopefully are identifiable. This is a very hilly part of our coverage area, so flash flooding is more of a concern in these hilly areas. So Marietta, you should be in your safe spot right now. You are under the threat for some serious rain and wind damage. Not only that, but as I switch our radar back to precipitation mode, we could be seeing a good deal of hail right here in eastern Washington County near Grandview. That is, just to emphasize, that is the Grandview along the Ohio River. That is not the Grandview Heights in Franklin County, suburb of Columbus. That is not the same. And we still have ongoing tornado warnings here in West Virginia for that storm that has a history of producing a large tornado. So right now it's not apparent that a large tornado is occurring in West Virginia, although there's some pretty decent rotation here near Braden, Big Moses. This will be east of Middlebourne, West Virginia. So if you know anyone in this area, or if anybody's watching from this area, I would highly, highly, highly recommend being in a safe spot and continuing to shelter until the storm is passed. It does appear that we have some very high wind potential along the Ohio River here. This is going to be east of Marietta. Some of these small town crossroads include Gracie, Cow Run, Dart, Duscher. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. And then Wade, and then down here St. Mary's, West Virginia, Ohio State Route 7, West Virginia State Route 2, which straddle the river on either side. So this is going to be a significant wind threat here, possibly even rotating a little bit. So that's where the Weather Service has come in and indicated that this may be a tornado possible situation. So, yes, we had some comments about Marietta. I would definitely be in your safe spot in Marietta. Athens County, yes, I think Athens County really needs to be careful over the next hour or so, as we do have several storms in the area that are potentially bringing severe weather, including this one. That's heading into southern Athens County from MacArthur. Now, what's interesting about this storm is it does not, the warning does not include the city of Athens, but the storm, because I do expect the storm to move a little south of Athens, but still, you're close. There's a lot of lightning associated with this storm, so if you're in Athens, I would be indoors and in a shelter and for the next 30 to 45 minutes or so while we wait for this storm to pass. And just to indicate the storm motion on these, the storms are moving southeast at 40 miles per hour. So we're getting data that suggests that the storms are moving southeast at 40 miles per hour. So, yes, I would give, if you're under any sort of warning, I would give it at least 45 minutes to get clear and out of here. So, again, Vinton, Jackson, Meigs, Northern Gallia, and Southern Athens County. This thunderstorm is going to, this severe thunderstorm warning is going to run for the next 44 minutes. All right, so that is the storm out of West Virginia. Let's try to see what's going on in some other areas. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for northern Fairfield County. So this is going to include, it does not include Pickerington, but it does include Millersport and just outside of Baltimore, Ohio. The threat in this storm is 60 mile per hour winds. So again, this is northern Fairfield County. We also have a strong storm, severe thunderstorm, I should say, in Perry County. That has not changed. That storm hasn't been moving a whole lot. It's only moving at about 20 miles per hour according to this data. So these are going to be storms that are with us for quite a while. And those slow moving storms can produce a very large flash flood threat, which is occurring in many communities. We have a flash flood warning for southern Licking County, flash flood warning for southern Muskingum County, flash flood warning for southern Guernsey County, observed flash flooding in Noble and Morgan County and southern Belmont County. All of those places are dealing with flash flooding because of these slow moving storms. And I can put these in a little bit of a loop so you can kind of see how the storm motion has been over the past, let's say, 45 minutes or so. This is a 45-minute loop. So this has been the general storm motion. Now, if you're in Columbus, if you're in Cincinnati, I do believe you're in the clear of any severe weather. We could still have a pop-up shower. In fact, I'm sitting here in Columbus right now. It's actually pretty breezy, but we're really not under the threat for any severe storms. Most of these severe storms now are in southeastern Ohio. But there's a lot of folks who live here, so we're going to continue to cover this for the duration of these severe thunderstorm warnings. So, all right, let's go back down to this storm here. We haven't touched on this one in quite a bit. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Adams and Scioto County. The Scioto County warning is tagged tornado possible, and the reason for this is part of the same storm cluster. And I'm going to try to put an animation on this one again too, that produced that likely likely tornado near Batavia and Amelia about 2 hours ago. Yeah, a little less than 2 hours ago. So that's the same storm, and that it's tagged tornado possible. Let's pause the animation and look at the velocity data on that. And I'm going to look at the velocity data in two ways. I'm going to look at it from the Charleston, West Virginia radar, which is what I'm currently looking at. And it looks like we got a new update. Okay, so there's some weak rotation near the Shawnee State Forest. I do not believe this is currently producing a tornado, but there is some weak rotation there on the Charleston radar. If I switch to the Wilmington radar, okay, so with the Wilmington radar, I don't see a lot of, I see kind of the same thing, but what I see out of the Wilmington radar is quite a bit of possible straight line wind right along the Ohio River, just north of Vanceburg, Kentucky. So it's on the Ohio side, north of Vanceburg, Kentucky is where that would be right now. So Shawnee State Forest, that would be probably crossing the river into Kentucky near Buena Vista. I don't believe this is going to hit Portsmouth. I think Portsmouth could see some strong wind, thunder, and lightning, but I don't think they're looking at the wind damage. That is the wind damage threat that's starting to build right here in southern Scioto County. So that's US 52. That's going to be a significant location to watch out for. Again, US 52 in Adams and Scioto County. So that stays in Ohio. So the US 52 does not cross into Kentucky at this point. Buena Vista, a small locality there. So again, this is some strong straight line wind potential that we're looking out for. So, and this severe thunderstorm warning is still tagged tornado possible because of the history of this storm. So straight line wind damage currently expected in the Shawnee State Forest. All right. Let's head back to Washington County. I think Washington County, and we'll switch back to the Charleston radar here, really has some damage potential. In fact, right here near Wade, looks like Wade, Ohio, Raven Rock, West Virginia. This could very well be some extremely damaging wind here. And it is tagged tornado possible, so we could even see a brief spin up out of this. This storm has the history of that, so we are watching this very, very closely for either some very damaging straight line wind or a possible tornado. So this is going to be north of Newport, Ohio. If you take Route 7 up toward Wade, and we have a new radar scan. So it looks like that straight line wind is right on the Ohio River right now. So any Ohio River communities north of Newport, it does appear that you have a very significant wind damage threat there as well. All right, so that's Washington County. Stretching back toward Perry County, I don't see any major wind in Perry, and stretching back here. Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of major wind threat off the Charleston radar. Let me switch back to the Wilmington radar for this severe thunderstorm warning in Fairfield County. Doesn't look too impressive at the moment, but we do have some wind that could be potentially occurring along US 50 between MacArthur and Albany. So Albany is a smaller town in Athens County. It does appear that we could see some potential wind damage there. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that will continue for the next 37 minutes as it moves into Athens and Meigs County. But it's currently impacting US 50 east of MacArthur and west of Athens. So Athens County, I'd be really keeping an eye on this one. But the strongest storm at the moment right now is right along the... all right, we have a brand new tornado warning with this. Okay. And it is a tornado observed. So when I was talking about that straight line wind and tornado damage, we do have a tornado on the ground now crossing into West Virginia between Newport and Ben's Run. So this is going to be Ohio State Route 7, and this is going to be West Virginia State Route 2. All right, so unfortunately, we do not have the best radar coverage in this area, but if we turn the Charleston radar on, we can see where this is. This is a significant situation, likely tornado on the ground crossing the Ohio River into West Virginia. So this is the velocity, and here it is. Just north of DeLong and south of Ben's Run, and just across the Ohio River from Newport. And it's moving very, very quickly. Let's see if we can get some words from the Weather Service. A tornado-producing storm located near St. Mary's, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Radar confirmed tornado. Okay, so that's in the MOV. That's in West Virginia. But I'm going to stick on this one here. Let's take a look at our debris tracker. And I am seeing some possible debris right here, exactly where they said it would be. So yes, there could be a tornado on the ground right here, now into West Virginia. I do think if the tornado is on the ground, it is in West Virginia now. So if you're in Washington County, I don't believe you are in this tornado threat. I think this is purely in West Virginia now. It's moving quickly. It's moving east at 30 miles per hour. But there is a likely tornado on the ground in West Virginia right here near St. Mary's, Sugar Valley, Union Mills, and some rural areas like that. So this is now east of West Virginia State Route 2. But if we turn on our reflectivity, we're still seeing a lot of heavy rain in Washington County, still a significant flash flooding threat in Washington County, still a lot of rain near McConnellsville, and State Route 78 there. All right. So, yes. And then stretching back towards New Lexington, it seems to be clearing up near New Lexington. Then we also have this severe thunderstorm warning near Thornville, just south of Buckeye Lake. Just south of Buckeye Lake is where this strong thunderstorm is. It does not include Pickerington. That is clear of Pickerington. It's clear of Lancaster. but it is the northern fringes of Perry and Fairfield County there. And hold on, I'm going to take a pause briefly just to get an update on things. All right, can everyone hear me? I apologize for the delay there. I just had to fix a little issue around here. So let me know if audio is a problem. All right. So if audio is no longer a problem, I'm getting levels on my end. I do want to give you guys a couple quick updates on some things that have occurred in the last 10 minutes. This storm that is south of Portsmouth, so this near Garrison, Kentucky, does now have a tornado warning on it. This does not include any locations in Ohio, but Garrison, Kentucky does have a tornado warning for this storm. And honestly, I'm not very surprised because there is some decently strong rotation with it. Again, I want Scioto County and Adams County folks to know that this storm is moving out. It has moved out of Ohio, at least the rotating part, but there is still a lot of heavy rain, thunder, and lightning on the Ohio side. So again, a tornado warning here in Kentucky, but not for Ohio. We still have this severe thunderstorm warning for really now the threat is Meigs in southern Athens County. This severe thunderstorm warning is going to run until 5:15, so we'll keep an eye on that. Not a lot of wind with this one anymore, although there is some broad rotation south of Athens. So again, if you're getting thunder and lightning in Athens, or maybe even some heavy rain in southern Athens County, it might be a good idea to stay in your safe spot, at least for the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. And we are still getting a lot of rain in Washington County. I am seriously concerned about the amount of rain that is falling here in Washington County. Flash flood warning just issued. Another one that now covers Marietta. That's going to run for 3 hours. The rain has been relentless in a hilly area that already sees a heightened risk for damage from flash flooding there. So again, that is Washington County and Marietta. We're also going to be seeing some more rain in some inundated areas here in Noble and Morgan and Belmont County here. The good news is the severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled for Perry County and Fairfield County. But we're going to have to watch very closely here to see if this storm strengthens at all. I'm not too worried about it, but we could see some strengthening. All right, another piece of news that has dropped here in the last, I want to say 20 minutes or so, and I'm going to put this on our screen, is the Storm Prediction Center is actually looking at Northeast Ohio for the potential for a severe thunderstorm watch to be issued. So again, this is going to potentially include Cleveland all the way towards Sandusky, Mansfield, Canton, Akron, toward Youngstown, Ashtabula, so Northeast Ohio. They are watching to see if any strong thunderstorms will pop up there. Now, no strong thunderstorms are ongoing in Northeast Ohio, so the radar is clear. But what they're looking at is this. This is a cluster of storms that has developed over Lake Erie that could potentially become strong to severe as it moves inland. Now, I think Erie, PA might see a greater chance of getting impacted by these storms, but they are stretching all the way back toward Cleveland, and the Storm Prediction Center is watching this for possible severe weather as well. So again, that's Northeast Ohio. Nothing occurring in Northeast Ohio now, but we are going to have to watch out for that within the hour. So a lot going on. It's been a very, very busy day. And again, I apologize for stepping away for about 10 minutes dealing with a couple issues here on the stream, but we're back. We're live. And just some updates. We do still have this extremely strong storm in West Virginia, now near West Union, where a tornado warning is still ongoing there in West Virginia. This storm has had a history of producing a tornado. So it still has very strong rotation near Pennsboro and West Union, West Virginia. So that's right along US 50. So certainly a dangerous storm still ongoing there. Back in Ohio, I don't see any rotation, but I see a lot of heavy rain. I don't even see a whole lot of damaging wind potential back in Ohio. Right now, the main threat in Washington County really is the flash flooding. I think we're going to be dealing with some serious flash flooding issues really for the rest of the day. This is not going to be going away anytime soon. This is going to be a rest of the day situation. We had a question about Smithfield, West Virginia. Currently, Smithfield, West Virginia is under a severe thunderstorm warning tagged tornado possible. What that means is it's possible that a tornado may have occurred nearby, but I am more likely to say that if there was any damage in Smithfield, which I've not heard any confirmed damage there, it may have been straight line wind damage. So again, right now, I think the main threat in Southeast Ohio is flash flooding right now. Flash flooding, maybe some gusty wind. We are really watching this storm back here in southern Athens and northern Meigs County, but this one seems to have weakened quite a bit. Let's put a loop on this one. If I loop this, we can really see how that storm has fallen apart. That's some good news there. So if you're in Meigs County, Athens County, I almost want to believe that this severe thunderstorm warning might get canceled early. I don't see any strong wind. Any rotation is very broad and not concerning. But there's still some heavy rain there. Still a minor flooding threat with any heavy rain that occurs there. Going down here to the Portsmouth storm, we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for Portsmouth and Scioto County. And there is now a new tornado warning heading into Kentucky. So this is, let's read the tornado warning here. This is for Greenup County in northeastern Kentucky. And we're going to have to watch this one because we'll want to see if this storm crosses back into Ohio. So that's going to be Lawrence County, Ohio, that we're going to have to really watch here for that. Not only that, but I believe there is no tornado threat for Scioto County, Ohio. It's Greenup County, Kentucky, where the main tornado threat is at this time. No tornado threat for Portsmouth, but it could be very windy with heavy rain, thunder, and lightning there. And we're going to be watching this very closely to see if the tornado threat ends up coming back into Ohio here in Lawrence County. So we'll be watching that very closely. So that's the gist of what's going on right now. Still a very juicy atmosphere out there. And honestly, even in areas where we don't have a lot of severe weather ongoing right now, so we can kind of do a bigger picture look here. Places like Columbus, which, by the way, Franklin County was just removed from the severe thunderstorm watch. So that was canceled about 3 hours early for the Columbus area. Even in areas back here, there's still a lot of energy in the atmosphere. And I'm wondering if we get a couple more pop-up thunderstorms throughout the evening. I think the main severe weather threat is generally shifting into Kentucky and West Virginia. I think if there's going to be any tornado threat, if there's going to be any severe weather threat, that's mostly going to be southeast of Ohio here very soon, with the exception of this line of storms coming off of Lake Erie. This is going to have to be watched closely over the next hour or so. We'll see if the Storm Prediction Center wants to issue a severe thunderstorm watch to prepare for that. But we're really going to have to monitor the trends. And that's going to be for northeast Ohio, primarily Cleveland and points east, Akron, Youngstown, places like that. So the severe weather threat is not over in our coverage area, but it is winding down. But that said, there is still a lot of energy in the atmosphere, so we'll have to see if things pop up. So that's generally what we're watching for here. Yeah, Washington County still getting the bulk of the heavy rain across our coverage area. I mean, this has been hours of heavy rain here. I am seriously concerned about the flash flooding threat in Washington County right now. And that includes portions of West Virginia where some of the very strongest portions of this storm has moved into. So really the most dangerous storm right now is the one that currently has a tornado warning on it near West Union, West Virginia, Duckworth, and Pennsboro. This is a radar indicated tornado warning and a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. We're seeing black on my radar here. I would not be surprised. Yeah, 1.5 inch hail, 70-mile-per-hour wind, considerable damage possible in West Virginia here. This will be heading towards Clarksburg, West Virginia. So if you know anybody who lives between West Union and Clarksburg, this is seriously a very dangerous situation. And this is the storm that impacted Washington County about 45 minutes ago. But right now, we've got a lot of heavy rain. The main threat is heavy rain, blinding rain on I-77 from Caldwell down toward Marietta and Parkersburg. So this is a pretty popular route for trucking and vacationers, and of course for the folks who live in the area, it's a very popular route. It's going to be tough going on I-77 for about 25 miles. I think it's about a 25-mile stretch between Caldwell and Marietta, roughly, if I can remember my exit numbers correctly. But that's going to be a really tough go at it. And of course, this is always a good time to remind folks of the weather. In the weather world, we always say, turn around, don't drown. Please do not drive any vehicle into high water, whether it's a large truck or a small car. It doesn't really matter. Either of those vehicles can float and trap the occupants relatively easily. We have a couple questions here. I'll try to answer some questions. Will this be the end of the storms, or will this continue all night? I think this will be the end of the major severe weather threat. That said, I do think a couple storms could still pop up over the next few hours. I do think Southeast Ohio is about to get the worst of it out. We still have to watch this tornado warned storm in Kentucky to see if that crosses back into Ohio. In fact, we do now have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Lawrence County. This includes Ironton and South Point, Ohio, Lawrence, Ohio. This severe thunderstorm warning is tagged tornado possible because remember, there's that tornado warning over in Greenup County, Kentucky. We'll have to see if that potential for tornadic activity will roll into Ohio. And this will expire at 5:30, but it does have the potential of being extended. So we're going to be watching this storm very, very closely. Portsmouth, this is going to stay south of Portsmouth. So I think Portsmouth is going to be okay. But let's take a look to see if there's any rotation in this storm. Yeah, all right. We do have some rotation, decently strong rotation that's crossing into Greenup County right now. So the rotation is primarily in Lewis County, and the storm is moving east at 30 miles per hour, but now it's heading into Greenup County. And Greenup County borders Lawrence County, Ohio, and it could cross the river again. Some places that might be in the line for this is Ironton, right here. US 52 in Ohio, Franklin Furnace, Ashland, Kentucky, and even down towards Huntington, West Virginia, maybe in a half hour to an hour or so. But this is a tornado warned storm. There's decently strong rotation. And there's even maybe a hint at debris, although it's not a very strong debris signature. So we may not have a tornado on the ground, but we could at any moment. This is the same storm that produced that likely tornado near Amelia about 2 hours ago. So it's the same storm. So it bears watching very, very closely. So again, a new severe thunderstorm warning tagged tornado possible has been issued for Lawrence County, Ohio until 5:30. We'll see if that gets extended or the area of rotation becomes concerning. But boy, do we have some hail potential here. We also have what looks to be like a little inflow notch here. So there's a lot of evidence that this is a dangerous, potentially tornado-producing storm in Greenup County, Kentucky, and we're going to have to watch for Lawrence County, Ohio. All right, so we're getting some requests about New Martinsville. I'll get you there in just a second. I want to check up on a couple storm reports here, and I will head there shortly. Alrighty here. So what do we have? Do we have any new storm reports? Alright. No new watches. I'm going to check my other tab here. Alright. Okay. It seems like the reports... over in Washington County are not verified at this time. All right, so that's what I was doing. I was looking at some to whether or not we had some verified tornado reports near Washington County. But let's get you to New Martinsville. We had several requests for that. Nothing too serious going around there, just some light rain. Although, if I put this storm, or if I put the radar in motion, I do believe New Martinsville still could get a lot of the heavy rain that's back here near Caldwell now. So if you're in New Martinsville, you should brace for more heavy rain, which you are under a flash flood warning there. So if there's some flash flooding or flooding ongoing, I don't anticipate it to get any better. In fact, it could get worse. So New Martinsville, you are looking at a flash flooding threat. That is the main threat. I do not see any severe thunderstorm warnings for that area. We still do have a severe thunderstorm warning that expires in about 5 minutes for eastern Washington County. But the main wind and tornado threat is now in West Virginia. In fact, if we go into West Virginia, I don't see any active tornado warnings at this time. So that's good news. However, the severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect are for 70-mile-per-hour winds. So that is very significant near West Union, West Virginia. Large hail, more than 1.5 inches. So we're talking bigger than half dollar, bigger than ping pong ball. So that's going to be Clarksburg, West Virginia, West Union, West Virginia, and places like that. So back here in Ohio, our wind threat is diminishing, but we still do have a significant flash flooding threat for southern Noble, Belmont, and eastern Washington County. This severe warned storm in Meigs County expires in 4 minutes, and I do not anticipate that this one will be reissued because this has weakened significantly. If you look at the loop, the radar loop here, look at that storm just fall right apart. So Pomeroy, I think you're going to get a brief downpour in Pomeroy and along US 33, but I do not think that you are going to get any severe weather. Now, where we are concerned for severe weather remains down here in Lawrence County, Ohio, and Greenup County, Kentucky. There is a tornado warning for Greenup County, Kentucky, and we're going to have to watch to see if this moves into Lawrence County, impacting places like Ironton, Ohio, and Ashland, West Virginia. That is Ashland, Kentucky. There are 3 states it's the tri-state. I got the wrong one there, but it's Ashland, Kentucky. I apologize for that. Yeah, we had a comment about Meigs County. Yes, that storm has really fallen apart, so I'm not too concerned about Meigs County or Gallia County there. All right. So yeah, that is a main concern. It does appear that... All right, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Scioto County. And it actually expires in 1 hour. So this is a new severe thunderstorm warning. Tagged tornado possible for Scioto County. Although I do believe the tornado threat should generally stay out of Scioto County. But I think it's Lawrence County that I'm the most concerned about. But let's read what the warning says. Let's see. A severe thunderstorm warning until 6 p.m. for northeastern Lewis and southern Scioto County. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts moving east at 45 miles per hour, and it is tagged tornado possible. All right, well, we're just going to have to watch that. Let's see if we can take a look at our velocity here. Oh, wow, yeah. We really do have some decently strong rotation here in Greenup County, Kentucky. I think that's well south of Scioto County. So that's good news. But if you're in Lawrence County, I would really be looking out for this. Ashland, Kentucky, Ironton, Ohio, and any of the small towns in between, US 52. This is some strong rotation. This has a history of producing a likely tornado back near Amelia, Ohio 2 hours ago. It's traveled a long way, and it's still a very strong storm. So Greenup County, Kentucky, radar indicated tornado warning. It's moving east at 25 miles per hour, located 12 miles north of Carter Caves State Park in Kentucky, with quarter-sized hail possible. So again, Lawrence County, you're not in the warning yet, but you really need to be planning to take shelter. If you live in a mobile home, now's the time to find a place that you can go to. That's a more sturdy structure. That would be a better place to wait out the storm. So again, this is going to be our primary storm to be watching over the next half hour or so. And then on top of that, really it's the flash flooding threat in Washington, Noble, and Belmont County. Or I'm so sorry, that's not Belmont County, that's Morgan County. Morgan County. Morgan, Noble, and Washington County, some very significant flash flooding ongoing there. So these are two areas of ongoing severe weather. I do kind of want to stick with us just a little while longer because I want to see what's going to happen down in Lawrence County. I want to see if we're going to get a tornado warning there. And I also want to see, how this flash flooding impacts Southeast Ohio. And then we need to track the storms ongoing up here because we now have a severe thunderstorm warning for Ashtabula County. So now another part of the state is being impacted by severe weather. So over 230 miles away, this is a new severe weather threat. It is disconnected from the severe weather threat in Southeast Ohio. But we now have a severe thunderstorm warning. It expires in 45 minutes, so until 6 p.m. for portions of northeastern Ashtabula County. So let's read what the Weather Service says about this one. A line of severe thunderstorms over Lake Erie, moving southeast at 40 miles an hour with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some hail. All right, so again, this line of storms coming off of Lake Erie, certainly something to really consider here. And I'm looking to see. All right, so we just got word, no damage where we had that big tornado warning in Washington County earlier. Few trees down in Caldwell. Okay. Chillicothe seems good now. Wow, a lot going on here. But yes, this is a significant storm coming off of Lake Erie. And there's a good webcam up here in Fairport Harbor. I want to see if I can get this webcam going because this might show us how strong this storm is, or at least what it looks like to the human eye. All right, it looks like the Fairport Harbor camera is not facing towards the storm, but let's see if I can put it on stream anyway. Give me 1 second while I do that. Okay, here we go. So this is the Fairport Harbor camera, and let me get it a better view of it on stream here. So this is always a really good webcam to look at when we've got storms coming in off of Lake Erie, and we will certainly give them their stream credit there. All right, so you can see kind of some darker clouds coming in off of Lake Erie there. What we're probably seeing is the tail end of this storm. I don't think that Lake County or even Geneva in Ashtabula County will get the worst of it. I think Ashtabula could get some very strong wind. I think Conneaut could get very strong wind. Even maybe Jefferson a bit inland. But this is going to be a nasty storm coming off of Lake Erie. I-90 between Ashtabula and Chautauqua County, New York. So that whole 40-something mile stretch of Pennsylvania along I-90. And then another 20 miles in Ohio. That's about a 60-mile stretch of I-90 here. That's really going to get walloped with this storm. I'm going to keep a close eye on this Fairport Harbor camera because that could give us a good visual of what's going on along Lake Erie. So, wow, a lot going on today. Beach hazard statement for the beach counties, Lorain, Cuyahoga, Lake Ashtabula. Still flash flooding ongoing. The good news is, though, it does appear, and I'm going to put the Charleston radar, it does appear that the heavier rain is starting to die down in southeast Ohio. And by die down, I mean it's heading into West Virginia. So for our Ohio folks, the heavier rain is going to, while it's still impactful, is going to start to dwindle a little bit. And that's going to help the recovery phase of this flash flooding issue down in southeast Ohio. All right. I heard a little alert. I want to see if we've got any weather updates to share. Let's see here. I got so many tabs open. I have to. No damage reported in West Virginia or Washington County from that tornado warning earlier. Some damage may be noted on the West Virginia side. Okay, so what we're doing is our team here at Ohio News and Weather. There's a lot of folks working in the background too, and we're trying to get the latest data on damage. And we've had a lot of geography covered today with all of the severe weather, so we're trying to get some damage reports. But I guess we do have this update to share. An observed flash flood warning here in Muskingum County. So Muskingum and southern Guernsey and northern Noble, some very serious flash flooding there. That does include the city of Zanesville. So hopefully everyone there is staying safe and electing not to drive through any high water. We can also get a check on this storm in Greenup County, Kentucky, that has the potential for tornadoes. And next in line would be Lawrence County, Ohio. The good news is, though, let me put some animation on this here just to kind of track it. I'm going to pause it. All right, so it looks like it was at its strongest when it crossed from Lewis County into Greenup County and now has lost some of its rotation. So that's good. It seems like in Greenup County, now it's still producing damaging wind, and I still think we're going to see damaging wind in Lawrence County. If it clips Scioto County, it would be the very far southeastern portion of Scioto County along US 52. But Ironton, Ashland, Kentucky, even Huntington, West Virginia, South Point, Ohio could be really looking at some straight line wind damage, or we could see this spin back up into a tornado again. We still have that tornado warning for Greenup County, Kentucky for another 23 minutes. And we have that severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for Lawrence County for a little while longer as well. So we're really watching this for Lawrence County, Ashland, Kentucky, Ironton, Ohio here within the hour. All right. So why don't we do another big picture? I think a big picture would be a good idea here because of just we've had a lot going on and we're not completely done yet. So, and we've had a lot of questions. So, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. So, just to kind of go over what's going on, we do have some strong thunderstorms coming off of Lake Erie, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Ashtabula County for the next 38 minutes. Right now, it seems to be only Ashtabula County. that is dealing with this storm at this time. Now, Erie County, Pennsylvania, Crawford County, Pennsylvania could certainly see some severe weather. It doesn't seem to be developing much over Cleveland, which is good news. We have a much higher population east of Ashtabula. Still, the folks in Ashtabula and Conneaut matter. So we're going to kind of cover that as it comes on shore. We do have some little blips showing up on the radar here near Upper Sandusky. I really think anywhere in Northwest Ohio, you're going to be in pretty good shape. There's not a lot of evidence that we're going to see any further storm development there, other than little blips. But severe weather, I think, is winding down. Really, it's this one storm down here in southern Ohio and the flash flooding in eastern Ohio that will continue to be a problem over the next hour or so. And then this up here in Ashtabula County. So that's the big picture. Sure, we can see another brief downpour elsewhere, but severe weather is becoming less and less likely as we head through the evening. But we're going to we are going to stick with this while we still have a few areas of concern over the next half hour or so. So, let's see if we've got any comments. Medina County, you look good. Wood County, you look good. Yeah, so those are regions that are looking much better. But, the issue is with flash flooding being a major problem, it takes several hours for that water to drain. I mean, we're going to see very high water. We're going to see high rivers and streams. Even the Ohio River is probably going to be high for a while, just because of all the sheer amount of rain that we've seen. We've also seen some development over here. This is just a brief heavy shower over Pataskala. I'm not concerned about that. So if you're out in Pataskala wondering what's going on, not worried about it. This down here in Kentucky, I certainly am. Lawrence County, Ohio. It says this severe thunderstorm warning expires at 5:30. I'm wondering if this will get reissued. Just because there is that tornado warning that's still in effect for Greenup County. Let's take a look at the rotation again. And there's some weak rotation, but it's nothing terribly concerning. But we're going to watch. We've had a very busy day. We've had a lot to watch, and I'm just not ready to sound the all clear just yet for Lawrence County there. And then, yeah, we got the flash flooding here. And then everywhere else, it's pretty clear. Let's head back up to Ashtabula County. Let's see what's going on up here with this storm. It's coming. It's coming close. I believe the storm has a forward motion of 40 miles per hour. So it's going to impact Ashtabula, Conneaut, Erie, Pennsylvania, and even inland locations like Kellogg'sville and Plymouth, Pierpont, Ohio. And then I think we have Lake Pymatuning down here. If you know anybody who might be out on Lake Pymatuning, you may want to at least be alerted. This storm could end up causing some problems for Pymatuning. There's a lot of people that spend the summer there, vacation there, might be enjoying a nice, July afternoon and may not be aware that this storm is coming off the lake. So Pymatuning's not under the severe thunderstorm warning right now, but it's an area of something to watch. So why don't we take a look at that Fairport Harbor camera up along the lake. Again, this is a little further east in Lake County, but we can see that darker cloud deck out in the distance, indicating that storm is something to look out for here in Ashtabula County as it comes inland. And it'll impact almost a 60-mile stretch of I-90 heading up towards Chautauqua County, New York. But yeah, Fairport Harbor. Let me turn the camera off. Fairport Harbor is probably going to be fine. It's right here near Paynesville. We'll turn the camera back on once again so we can see the dark clouds, but No immediate impact to the beach there. There's a few people out there swimming out on the beach. Seems like a nice afternoon out there. But I would say if you see lightning or anything like that, certainly get off the beach and head to some shelter. But the wind threat from this storm is going to be primarily here in Ashtabula County. And we can take a look at the wind. I'm not seeing a whole lot of super strong wind at the moment. But, you know, with these storms coming off the lake, they can kick something nasty up really quick. In fact, it's almost at Conneaut right now. So Conneaut will be dealing with that. Ashtabula dealing with that right now. And that's it. So, yeah, those are our storms at the moment. Okay, we do have some new news. A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Lawrence County. Let's see what it says. It is tagged tornado possible, and it looks like it's going to expire at 6:30. No, 6:15. This will last until 6:15 because of the potential rotation threat with it back here in Greenup County. So the Greenup County tornado warning will expire in 16 minutes, but because this storm has such a storied history of producing what is very likely a tornado. This is the same storm that tracked through Claremont County over 2 hours ago. I don't have the radar data that far back, but you can see the trajectory that it's taken, and it's kind of cycled on and off a little bit over the past 45 minutes or so. Still has some decent rotation with it, some broad rotation. I don't think it's actively producing a tornado, but it would be heading towards Ashland, Kentucky, Ironton, Ohio, Huntington, West Virginia, South Point, Ohio. You're now under a severe thunderstorm warning until 6:15 because of this strong storm with the potential for rotation. So, Luke, a few miles north of Ironton, I would be, if you're in Ironton, I would be preparing for a possible tornado warning. There is not a tornado warning at this time, but I would be preparing for it. As this storm has had a history of tornadoes, which is what I would do in that case. So if you know anybody who lives in a mobile home, this would be a good time to consider some accommodations for those who may be living in mobile homes in the area. A sturdy structure will fare much better in a tornado situation if that were to occur. We do not have a tornado imminent in Lawrence County at the moment, but the storm heading towards Ironton and Ashland and even Huntington, West Virginia, South Point, Ohio, US 52 has a history of it, and there is broad rotation back here in Greenup County, Kentucky. So that's the evidence. That's what we're looking at right now. All right, let's see if we've got any damage reports, flooding updates, anything like that. Still some heavy rain in little pockets of Washington County, but it is getting better. Noble County, another heavy downpour there, but no wind, just more heavy rain that is not needed. And then we also have this heavy downpour that's developed between Pataskala, Hebron, and Buckeye Lake region. So no lightning, no wind, no thunder, or anything like that, but just a heavy downpour in case anybody's watching from that area. Elsewhere across the Buckeye State, you're in good shape. We might just have a few little blips show up. It looks like we've got a little downpour north of Willard, nothing concerning. Little downpour north of Upper Sandusky, nothing concerning. Nothing concerning in the Cleveland area at this time. But of course, we do have this strong thunderstorm that's moving in off of Lake Erie, impacting Conneaut right now. So Conneaut is under the gun for some strong wind. And Ashtabula, you're not very far from it. North Kingsville, heading up towards Erie, PA, where rain has already begun there. I can look at the Buffalo, New York radar. Doesn't show much different than the Cleveland radar does. We're really getting the same amount of data. So very windy along I-90. That could be dangerous to truckers and high-profile vehicles there, where the wind would be coming perpendicular to the highway off the lake. So that would not be a good situation for high-profile vehicles. So hopefully truckers are taking shelter. If we have any strong wind, it doesn't seem super pronounced, but It would be over Conneaut right now, and then over portions of Erie County, Pennsylvania, all areas that could have some very strong wind at the moment with this storm that's really trying to move off of Lake Erie. Apparently, the Storm Prediction Center has declined to issue, at this time at least, has declined to issue a severe thunderstorm watch. They had indicated a little while ago that they were considering a severe thunderstorm watch for Northeast Ohio. Let's see if we have any updates on that. Looks like that region. Looks like that region is still being looked at for a possible severe thunderstorm watch. Let me pop that on screen here really quick, and we can read up on some of what they're saying. So again, what you're seeing on screen right now is what is called a mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center, and these usually come before any watches or warnings may be issued. They did indicate that Northeast Ohio may be put under a severe thunderstorm watch because of this development over Lake Erie. But I think what's happened is this storm over Lake Erie has become smaller, with the threat primarily concentrated in Erie County, PA. I think the worst of it really is in Erie County, PA. But we're still going to see some heavy rain and strong wind come off the lake from Ashtabula to Conneaut. In fact, it's on top of Conneaut right now. And then this part that's coming off the lake will impact Ashtabula here in maybe 10 to 15 minutes or so. Between there and everywhere else, we do have a few pop-ups, but nothing severe. Still looking at the flash flooding threat down here in Washington, Noble, and Morgan County to be ongoing over the next couple of hours. So Morgan, Perry, northwestern Washington, even Belmont County up here. All locations that we're really going to have to look out. All right, so let's get down to this storm here, tagged tornado possible. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning, tagged tornado possible for Scioto County, and it's supposed to go for another 25 minutes, but it doesn't really look like it's going to be impacting Scioto County. So honestly, I will say, in my professional opinion, if you're in Scioto County, you're in the clear. The only spot that really isn't is Lawrence County. It's still a tornado possible tagged severe thunderstorm warning. And we still do have some very dangerous looking wind down here in Greenup County, Kentucky. There is no longer a tornado warning in effect, just a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. But as that moves into Lawrence County, we're really going to have to look out for like Ironton, Ashland, Kentucky, South Point, Ohio, Huntington, West Virginia, here in the tri-state area. So even if it doesn't produce a tornado, it could very well produce straight line wind damage. Scioto County, I would say that you're in the clear. You also do have a flash flood warning in this region as well. So another hilly area, certainly some flash flooding still an issue. Something we're still a bit concerned about. Is Adams County clear? Yes. I think it's safe to say that Adams County is in the clear. I still think it's possible to see a pop-up heavy shower anywhere this evening, but I think that the chance of any damaging severe weather is diminishing. So really, we have two spots right now for wind damage potential. Lawrence County in far southern Ohio, and Ashtabula County in far northern Ohio. So the two farthest away places in Ohio are being impacted by two different storms right now. So it's kind of interesting that, you know, if you were to drive from South Point, Ohio, which is the southern point of Ohio, to Conneaut, which is the northern point in Ohio, it would take you maybe 4 or 5 hours to make that drive. But those are the places that are being impacted by severe weather. Everywhere else, it's just heavy rain. In fact, even the heavy rain in Washington County is getting a little bit better. So the heavy rain moving out. Still some strong storms left over from what we had in Ohio here in West Virginia, stretching south of Morgantown towards Buckhannon and Weston. Clarksburg, West Virginia, getting a lot of rain and wind. In fact, there is a tornado warning still in West Virginia for Taylor and Barber County, West Virginia there. So that storm's still pretty strong. So if you know anybody in that portion of West Virginia, might be a good idea to let them know that there's a tornado warning there. But there are no tornado warnings in Ohio anymore. Just this severe storm up here near Conneaut. It's currently on shore at Conneaut. But really the strongest part of it is going to be in Erie County, PA. And even over here, Chautauqua County, New York, getting some strong to severe thunderstorms as well. Ashtabula, Geneva, you'll be seeing this coming on shore very soon. All right, let's see if we have any new information about what has happened earlier today. All right, so it looks like we're getting some reports, more confirmation from the severe weather earlier on the east side of Cincinnati. So we are fairly certain a tornado did occur in Claremont County. There is no longer a threat for any severe weather in Claremont County, but we're fairly certain a tornado did occur. We'll get confirmation from the Weather Service later. And there are ongoing severe storms down in Kentucky. Very strong storms heading into the Red River Gorge area of Kentucky right now. In fact, there is a tornado warning in Kentucky for Mount Sterling, Kentucky. That is Mount Sterling, Kentucky, not Mount Sterling, Ohio. But there is a tornado warning for a storm there. And then the last one we're really looking at is this storm. This is the storm that produced the tornado near Amelia 2.5 hours ago. It's the same storm. It looks like it's diving south a bit, though. So it seems that the worst of it might be staying in Kentucky and then into West Virginia. But something interesting has occurred here. It looks like some of that rotation has become more apparent again in the last couple scans. There's definitely rotation there. But the good news is the rotation isn't very strong. It's there. There's some broad rotation here, still in Greenup County, Kentucky. But we're going to have to watch to see what happens here in Lawrence County, particularly Ashland, Kentucky. I think even Ironton might be far enough north to avoid the worst of this. Maybe. We'll have to watch. There's this little area here too. That's kind of popped up. So, all right, well, yeah, we're going to keep an eye on this one. This could still pack a punch for Lawrence County as it crosses into Ohio and West Virginia. And then once this passes through, and then once the Ashtabula County storm passes through, we're going to be in the clear for a while. And probably in the clear for the rest of the evening. Because it really doesn't seem like much is popping up elsewhere other than just little brief blips of heavy rain. And that's about it. So, yes, I do believe Summit County is in the clear. I think you're going to be all right there. And again, once we end our live stream, which we'll end the live stream once Lawrence and Ashtabula County are in the clear, we will post storm updates on our Facebook page, Ohio News and Weather, so you can kind of keep an eye on our Facebook page through the evening to see what storm updates do come through. So that's going to be something to look out for. If you're curious what storm reports we've gotten today, you will still see those posted on our Facebook page. All right. Let's see if we've got a new radar scan on this broad rotation near. Okay, actually, this scan looks better. I don't see that well-defined rotation anymore in this scan, at least. So we're going to keep an eye on things, but it's approaching the Ohio River. It's getting pretty close now. So hopefully you're in your safe spot if you're in Lawrence County. If you're in a mobile home or know anyone in a mobile home, hopefully they are finding some shelter, some substantial shelter that's anchored to the ground a little bit better. But yeah, what a wild afternoon it's been south of I-70. We've certainly had some very, very strong storms. There's going to be some damage to clean up, and not just in southeast Ohio where the flash flooding threat still is, but we did get some reports of some damage even in central Ohio, particularly in Licking County. Some damage near Newark, some roof damage reported there, and really northeast Ohio has been pretty spared, except for this one storm that's come on shore near Conneaut and in Erie County, Pennsylvania. Uh-oh. Looks like our internet may be down. Let's see here. No, looks like our stream is back up again. Okay, sorry for that. We've had a couple technical issues this afternoon, but it looks like we're back online and running. So again, severe thunderstorm warning for another 16 minutes for Ashtabula County. Not seeing a whole lot of strong wind on this one, but we'll stick with it for the next 16 minutes and see how things go with that. I'm almost wanting to believe the Weather Service will let this one expire, as there's not a whole lot of wind associated with it, but there is a good deal of lightning and wind. In fact, what we can do is we can throw up the Fairport Harbor camera. Let's see if I can get, there you go. There's the Fairport Harbor camera up in Lake County. You can see that storm over the lake. I don't think it's going to impact Fairport Harbor. It's pretty windy there, though. Probably looks pretty impressive over the lake, but it is moving generally to the east of that portion of Ohio's Lake Erie region. All right, we did have a question about what's going on in Ironton, Ohio, Lawrence County. That is our other concerning storm, so let's take a look at it. And it appears to me that the worst of the storm is diving south of Ironton. I really think that's the case. I'm not seeing a lot of evidence of rotation anymore. In fact, I'm not even seeing a lot of evidence for straight line wind. Still, this is a strong thunderstorm with a history of producing a tornado, so we're going to want to really keep an eye on it. But it does look like the worst is dipping south of Ironton right now. I think if anywhere in our viewing area is going to be impacted by this, it's going to be the southern fringe of Lawrence County. So literally as far south as you can go. So like South Point, Huntington, West Virginia, Ashland, Kentucky, US 52, south of Ironton. So I think Ironton's actually okay. I think we're getting better in that area. Might be a little windy, might get a little heavy rain, but that's about it. So we are probably gonna, I think what we're gonna do is I think we're gonna wrap our coverage up at 6 o'clock. And that will probably be the end of live coverage here on Ohio News and Weather this evening. Hold on. I think we're having some connectivity issues again. All right. Hopefully folks can hear me here. Are we still live? May not be. Are we still streaming here? I'm not sure that we are.